Boo.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Good.
So far, so good.
All right. So Dennis, I bought a new computer.
What'd you get?
I bought a new MacBook Pro.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, my IBM, which I purchased just a year and a half ago, maybe, I think it was, or my PC, I should say, has gotten to the point where it just shuts off when it feels like it and goes into sleep mode.
Wow.
And the only way to get it out of that is to shut it completely down and then restart it. So I got tired of that, and I went, you know what? Going back to Mac. So
Yeah.
I bought a new MacBook Pro with a i9 processor in it.
Wow.
And
no.
a 1 terabyte SSD drive.
Ooh. Should be pretty quick.
It is. Yep. I didn't go with anything with that new chip in it because Adobe's still having all kind of issues with it.
Yeah.
Or I would have bought one with that M1 chip in it, but
Yeah.
Adobe's not playing well with them just yet.
Well, good for you.
Interesting.
Did you buy from Apple?
I did not. I went up to Best Buy and picked it up in Morgantown.
Yeah.
They had it available, which is odd. They normally don't have the higher end ones available. Usually it's just an entry level.
Yeah.
Up there. They had it available, and I ran up and picked it up, and so now I'm relearning a lot of stuff. I forgot how
Absolutely.
Mac worked, but I also forgot how great it was. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to be back on a Mac.
I got mine from B&H. B&H has some had some pretty good prices on year-old items. So the MacBook I have that I travel with, I got from them. But it was a year old. It wasn't the most current stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep.
So what are you going to do with your MSI?
It's sitting here on the desk. I did have it working for a little while today, and then it went back into sleep mode all by itself. So I'm still trying to, when I have it up and working, I'm pulling stuff off of it and updating things to go to the Mac. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It was a good computer, but I'll tell you this, I did a test with it just before I bought this MacBook Pro. I was getting ready to upload videos for our meetings that we record. And there was one that I needed to cut off the officers meeting after the meeting. So I had to go in and edit the video. So I did it on my MSI. And it turned out to where the video was a 2 hour and 1 minute video. And I said, well, you know what, I'm going to try it. And I did it on the iPad Pro that I bought recently. And it turned out, I did the same video on both things, and I told it to render it to make it into the MP4 that we upload. And the iPad Pro did it in 37 minutes, a 2 hour video. And my MSI, which I had bought specifically for that kind of stuff, took 1 hour and 47 minutes to do the same thing.
Wow.
So the iPad Pro was totally amazing to me as far as that goes. I haven't tried one yet with the MacBook Pro, but I have the feeling it's going to be fairly quick.
You got a 15 inch or 13, 16 inch or 13 inch?
I bought a 16.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. we ran I had Jim call me earlier. Me and him did a quick test video or test Zoom meeting just a few hours ago, just to make sure I knew how to do it, because it is a little bit different on the Mac than it was on the PC. But
No.
so I've seen Jim sent me a message and said quite a few people showed up for the outing.
I included Marty on that list, even though she showed up like, I don't know, Marty, how late were you?
Go. It wouldn't let me unmute. I came at 10:30 for an hour.
Better late than
Yeah.
never.
Okay. I made it.
Well, Brian, the other thing I should do is, and I mentioned this to Alan, he brought his 2 dogs with him. What well-behaved dogs. I was really impressed.
Really good.
He had them off leash and they would just stay right with him. And
Jim, your video's off.
it is, yes.
Oh, okay. You looking bad tonight?
It's the odor, Dennis. Teasing. I'm doing some multitasking here while I'm on.
No.
So I haven't heard anything from Margie for today. Annie's probably at work, would be my guess.
Melissa's recovering.
Recovering from,
COVID.
oh, Melissa.
Yes.
I didn't know she
Oh,
had
really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Annie told me on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know she had it. How's she doing? Do you know?
I messaged her. She said she was feeling a little bit better. That was about it.
I was just on another meeting with one of my coworkers just before this, and he's in quarantine right now. He has COVID. He's got another 6 or 7 days yet to go in quarantine before he can come back out. But he said it's back and forth. He'll feel good for a few hours, and then he feels horrible, and then he feels good, and then he feels horrible. And but he, like me, likes to eat, and he said the worst thing is he can't taste anything. So that's his biggest issue. So I went through the daunting task the other day of, since I got the new computer, I thought, well, I'll go through and check emails and go through and get rid of old emails. And I ended up deleting 26,000 emails.
Yeah.
That took a while to go through and delete 26,000 emails.
So Brian, I can't help but ask, you know, we talked at the, was it the last, at the monthly meeting about file management for photography.
Uh-huh.
What's your file management for emails?
Well, it was pretty much just read them, and I thought I was deleting more emails than I was, evidently. Because as I started going through, and there was stuff in there that definitely I had no intentions of ever keeping. You know, it was just, you know, advertisement emails and stuff like that. And I don't know why they were still in there. I thought I had deleted them, but obviously I didn't. So yeah, it's better now. I'm deleting and then double deleting at this point, almost on a daily basis, just to make sure that they go away at this point.
That's good.
I probably need to do that. I've got, because you know how many email addresses I've got.
Right.
And each of them gets marketing stuff that I know I haven't deleted as much as I should, because I'll read it on my phone and then maybe I won't remember to delete it. So then when I see it on the computer, it's already been read, so I ignore it. So I don't delete it.
And I think that was a lot what happened. I have right now 8 emails that I have to look at. So it was a combination of 8 emails, and I believe the same thing as Beth said. I've looked at it on one spot and then not deleted it. And then when I get to it in another spot, I don't look at it and it's still there. And that's what happened. So luckily I have noticed though that the Mac works a little bit better as far as if I delete it in one place, it's deleted in all the places.
Yeah.
So that is better, even with my non-Gmail emails. So like my work email, which with that one before, if I looked at it on my phone, we'll say, and then I opened my PC up, it was still there on the PC, where now if I look at it on my phone and delete it there, it deletes it from my Mac too. So I like that a little bit better.
Yeah. Do you use an iPhone?
Yes, I am actually at this point 100% Apple now. I have
Yeah, me too.
a iPhone, a MacBook Pro, and then the iPad as well. So
Back
I
to
like the way
saying-
it uses iCloud to synchronize address books, and it synchronizes the New York Times crossword puzzle, and the way it
Reminders.
synchronizes passwords. And maybe
Yeah.
PCs do that too.
I
But I just find that very elegant.
I spent
Yeah.
about 2 hours going through and transferring passwords from my PC, which was synchronized through, which was saved in Google Chrome, which doesn't transfer over to Safari. So I had to go through and manually go to each website and put in new passwords.
Yeah.
But that was nice
But
because
once-
it gave me an option of updating passwords as I went along
Yeah,
too. So.
Yeah.
So something that needed to be done anyhow. So, I got it done, and now they're all synced through there, which is nice because like you said, they sync to each place through the keychain with no problem.
Mhm. It's easy.
Yeah.
And there's no like, oh crap, I'm on my phone and my passwords are on my desk and I don't remember this
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
long thing that I used. Yeah.
Yep.
And I like how if you need to come up with a new one, it'll make a suggestion
Yeah,
of a nice
absolutely.
strong one.
Yeah.
And if that site will take it, those are great.
Right.
Yeah. I'd use several of those whenever I was resetting stuff. So
Yeah.
the Safari suggestions. I like the fact that I can, if I'm working on my iPad and I do a copy, I can paste it on my MacBook Pro because it keeps it goes back and forth.
I haven't tried doing that. I should.
So that does that. And then I can also use my my iPad is a second screen for my MacBook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Connects
not
to
done
no
that. I
question.
heard you could do that.
Yeah. Which I was using it yesterday with, it's just quick and easy. The little box shows up on a computer, you click on it and it connects the iPad as a second screen. So it's pretty neat.
What's also cool with passwords if you go into Safari on the MacBook and click on preferences within Safari, you can scroll over and look at passwords. You'll have to put your password in for the machine, but you can see them all and it'll highlight which ones you're using in multiple places or which ones are easy to guess.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go to those and make those the first ones that you ditch.
And then this MacBook uses fingerprint to put your passwords in, so I don't have to type them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Just touch the little button and it puts it in automatically for you. So
Cool.
So my next step will be Lightroom. I haven't set Lightroom. I've got it on here, but I haven't opened it and set it up yet. That'll be the next thing. I'm going to rewatch our video on file management and see how I want to do that.
Yeah.
I'll just start out brand new with this computer and a new deal the whole way through. So.
Are you going to export the catalog from the old computer and import it to the new one?
I really don't think so, because the catalog that I was using on the old computer was only last year.
Oh,
And last year turned out to be pretty much a bust photography wise. So I think I'm just going to start from scratch with a brand new catalog now and go from there.
yeah.
I haven't revisited things from 2019 or back in a long time, so I'm not too worried about those. I mean, I still can access the raw files if I want to, but I'm not as worried as much as the catalog goes. So I'm just going to start with a new catalog, like I'm a new photographer this year, and go from there.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, seen we had a couple people post some pictures from the trip.
Donna put some on and I did.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I think Suzanne put some on too.
Jim, how many people did you have at the walk?
Let's see. So myself and Pat, Marty, Beth, Alan, Donna and her son Owen,
Annie.
Suzanne and her husband, and Annie. So I guess there was 10 of us.
Good. Nice turnout.
Well, I told Brian, the turnout was good. For a winter walk at Lynn Run, the fact that we had that snowfall the previous day, it was just ideal conditions for photos in the snow.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Hi, Rex.
Hey, hi guys.
Hi, Rex.
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 Hi Brian. Hi everybody. I'm a little late.
I'm disappointed there's no pictures of my dogs on there.
Well, do you know what, Alan? Stay tuned for the February newsletter. Pat took photos of just about all of us that were there, except for me. And there is one of you and the two dogs, and Marty has them.
I do.
Now they'll get big heads.
I
Looks
have
like,
one picture of one of them, but it's a blur.
You mean a lens, baby?
No, the dog was moving. Because the camera was on a tripod at the time too.
looks like Suzanne posted her pictures a couple hours ago. She posted 5 of them.
Well, is this a free-for-all night as far as asking questions and things like that?
Yeah, it's an open night for everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Till about 8.
Well, Dennis and I went out to Monmouth Park Lake over the weekend, and I haven't.
Sorry, where did you say you were?
Mammoth.
Oh, okay.
Mammoth. I'm sorry. Am I not close enough to this thing?
I just didn't hear, that's all.
Okay. All right.
No, I heard, I just didn't understand. It's not your volume.
Okay. Yeah. The experience that I had, I've got the images over here from the shoot, from the session, from the outing, and I am not happy with what I saw. And I'm wondering why, even though I shot at, it was f8 and ISO 800, and 800 on my Canon is usually not, maybe Dennis can fill in some blanks on this. The graininess, what I saw, the noise, the noise level was really high. And I'm thinking, I don't remember the last, I've never done any test with using that camera at those f-stops with that lens and at that ISO in the freezing cold. And it was very, very cold on as opposed to a warm day. And when I looked at the images, almost right away, I thought, wow, look at the noise in there. And I'm able to get the noise out. You can look at it at 200 or 300x and 2 or 3 times magnification. And it's okay. But just for pixel peepers, for people that care about making sure they have absolutely the best quality image, and it's the sharpest image, I would not want to, I'd want to go out and shoot this over again. It just did not look like what I expected. Dennis, if you can, do you have any experience with the changing in noise level between really cold weather and really hot weather?
Well, if there's a change, it should get better.
You would think contraction is better than expansion.
Well, the noise in the camera goes down as the temperature goes down, the noise in the sensor.
Okay.
It should go down. I have no particular experience at that.
Well,
but the temperature on a electronic detector is proportional to temperature. So as the temperature goes up, the noise goes up.
All right. In the real world of testing images, well, in the world of science, what you want to do is you just move one thing. You don't move any of the other things.
Yeah.
And then you see the result. You see the change and you come to a conclusion, maybe after 3 or 4 or 5 samples.
Can you show an image?
I have to transfer it from over there to over here.
All right.
I think I might be able to. It'd take me a little while, but I'll tell you what, if we go on with other issues, then in the meantime, I'll work on bringing the image in.
Yeah, mine were okay. I mean, I can't, I'm a little bit noise tolerant, so maybe that's what happened.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd throw that out there, and if anybody knows, okay, but so far what we know is if it's colder, it should be better. It's not what happened. Okay, all right. I'm used to at 800. I've shot at. I've used ISO 1250 and 2000 on an average day, and I'm able to cancel. I'm not cancel. I'm able to control the noise level, but this was really unusual.
Maybe you should have taken the lens cap off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, that was my offering for what do we do about this? Anyway, I'll see if I can. I'll pull the image and make sure that we have a. I won't be able to. I do have Lightroom on this laptop over here as well, so I should be able to bring in a raw image, and then we can say you just are not good at what you do. All right, next.
See, are you sure that they were at the 800 ISO?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your shutter speed?
Oh,
What's your shutter speed?
they ranged from, I had it at aperture priority, and they ranged from like 1,000 to 1,600. That's what I'm seeing here now.
Well, that was the problem. You was using aperture priority, and if you ask Margie, you're not allowed to use that. You can only use manual. I mean,
Well, shutter priority. Bless you. Shutter priority is the worry wart setting. You put it at exactly the shutter speed you want, and then you don't worry about the blur, but then you have to deal with the changing depth of field because it's going to change every time by a little or a lot, depending on how the light changes or where you aim the camera.
Maybe it was really snowing.
That's another. No, then you're absolutely right, Marty. I looked at it and I thought, oh, wait a minute, that's snow. And I could see the snow. And then when I looked through the snow to see what the image structure was, I was just as disappointed. Yeah, I took some big blobs of snow out of there as it was. Now, Dennis, maybe you did better. I'm sure you did better.
Oh, I don't know.
Is there any chance of getting something weird from static?
Okay, say I have on a parka, and it's the camera's just as I walk, the camera is bouncing back and forth, something like that. And
Maybe just because it would be drier air if it's so
Yeah.
cold.
Well, Rex, I'll throw in my 2 cents on this. And I don't know what the conditions were like at Mammoth when you were there. Was it a fairly snowy day, if you will? Snow on the ground, snow in the trees?
well, I would describe it as a dim. It was an overcast, a very overcast day. How about
It
you?
wasn't, snow was light if there was any snow.
Okay.
Oh,
The only reason I was asking that is, in fact, at Lynn Run, I was okay, but I was out the other day with Pat, and I didn't put on any exposure compensation, and almost all of my images were way underexposed.
Yeah.
In that I had to really up the shadows significantly. And in those darker areas, and I don't recall what ISOs I had on some of them, but there was definitely some noise. And I think it was just, I had such deep shadows to try to open up.
Oh, yeah, right out of my first shot, I looked at it and I realized that it was underexposed, and I added, what is this by the time I was here? No, it's not showing it. It's not showing it on that one. I might have moved it back, but, oh, I know what I did. I didn't use the aperture compensation. I just changed the f-stop. I just changed it. What did I change? I didn't change the, it doesn't show a plus or a minus on that. I don't know what's on the next one. First one. No, it doesn't show. I don't think that part of the metadata shows in Lightroom, unless anybody knows better.
The exposure compensation,
Right.
that shows, that should be in your metadata.
It's there, but I mean, what I have it set to show me on the desktop when you click on an image in the film strip, you click on one of the images in the film strip, then the image that comes up is has quite a bit of information, but it doesn't have that. It's got the shutter speed, it's got the f-stop, it's got the ISO, it's got the exact millimeters that it was shot at. Then it was a 24-105 lens and the information on the lens, and then it's full frame, so it was 5531 by 2934, something like that. That shouldn't be it. That's not right. What would be right? Yeah, 5616 by 3744. That's what they're all supposed to be when they're full frame. But the metadata, when I look at metadata, let me see. Let me go back to that image, and let me go back to the metadata, and no. It probably has it in the Windows 10 preferences. If you go and look at it there, it might have it. But and if I look at it back if I still have the card in the camera, it will show it. It'll have it somewhere, but I don't see it on my desktop as is. Dennis, you have the same thing, Lightroom, you have a Canon. Does it show your change? Does it show adjustment?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look.
I don't find it either in the Lightroom metadata. I don't find it on the caption at the top of the picture. That's probably a little bit too much. First of all, you're supposed to be working on the picture more than that. What's going on, Beth? You got some, it looked like you had a conversation going on there.
Nate was trying to pop in and pop out so that all you saw was like part of his shirt.
Yeah.
I kept seeing taco, but I couldn't read the bottom word.
It's a Tacosaurus.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know. Do you see it? I don't see it.
So Rex, I just opened up my older version of Lightroom. I assume it's not too different. If you go to the, I'm in the library module. And
Okay.
if you go to metadata.
Okay.
And scroll down, there's it's the XF data.
Yeah.
And it's got the dimensions, cropped exposure, and then exposure bias. And this, it should be either like, well, if there's no exposure bias or compensation, it's 0 EV, where it'd be +1 or -1 or whatever.
All right, I'll go through. I know that I used it in some. I don't see it.
Huh.
No.
It also depends on which version of the metadata you're looking at. There's multiple versions that Lightroom will show you. There's a drop-down menu. I don't have Lightroom turned on this new
Yeah,
computer.
you're right, Brian. Rex, if you do the drop-down menu on the metadata, beside metadata, the main tab.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look.
Or actually, I'm sorry, to the
Yeah,
left
you
of
need-
that.
You need the EXIF choice.
Yes.
All plug-in metadata, minimal, quick. I don't see, what was it?
EXIF should be one of your
Okay.
choices.
Oh, okay, there we go.
That'll give you more information on the picture.
Oh, there's a ton more. Yeah, I don't want to take up our time, but yeah, the answer is yes, there it is. Okay. Aperture priority, let me just start again. Oh yeah, minus 2/3 EV showed
There you
up
go.
on the very
That's not
first.
enough to make it noisy.
Ah,
Minus 2/3, right?
yeah.
2/3 of stuff.
Minus 2/3.
Minus 2/3 is what it was set on. I think that was because I left it there from an older exposure, because I remember my first exposure looked underexposed, and then my next one was 0 EV, and I need to compare those two images to see if they were, well, let's see, their shutter speeds were, well, their shutter speed changed, but the f-stop was the same, so the value should be the same, except that one was minus 2/3 and the other one was 0.
Well, what's interesting, Rex, if it was minus 2/3, that's in snowy conditions, you're heading in the wrong direction to begin with.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it was left, it was from the last time I used the camera.
Well, no,
I just-
all I'm saying though is when you took those shots with that minus exposure compensation, you were making things worse than what they would have been otherwise.
For sure. No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. It was, and I saw the image that came up, and I realized that I had it set that way, and the next exposure was 0 EV. And it's a better image. It is a better image just out of the box, out of the camera, it was a better image.
But still, none of that would cause the over
Noise.
amount of noise that you're
Noise.
talking about.
Noise, yeah. And there was still noise. Even in the other images, there seemed to be noise.
Buy a new camera.
Yeah.
Switch to Nikon.
Yeah. Get an 850.
Okay. All right. I've paid my dues.
Get one of the Canon M5s.
The M5.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll have to sell one of the cars.
There you will. Maybe both. And you're gonna buy all new lenses.
Well, no, enough out of me.
I seen something not too long ago where Nikon said that they're releasing 22 new lenses this year, or between this year and next year, I believe it is, for the Z lenses, which would be for their
Electra EV cameras.
yeah. I can't think of
Mirrorless.
mirrorless camera. That's it. Their mirrorless camera.
Yeah.
So they're if they're releasing 22 new lenses between this year and next year, they're definitely pushing their way towards a mirrorless system.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, in today's Petapixel, there was an article, they were quoting somebody from Nikon, a VP or something, and that's basically what he was saying. They're really, really shifting their focus to mirrorless.
Really, yeah.
I think Canon's doing the same thing.
It's nice how they make the decisions for you.
Yeah.
It's only money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's only money. Problem is they don't give you the money for free to give them.
I have this objection to paying a small fortune to do video on a camera that I only ever do stills on.
Yep. I don't know if I'm very happy with my D850. If I ever get outside to take pictures again, or actually go somewhere to do that.
Yeah,
I'm hoping this year works out to be a little bit better.
yeah.
Or is that
Well,
even possible?
You pointed out Phipps is doing a new show starting Monday.
They are. They have their
Orchids and bonsai
orchids and
trees.
bonsai. Yeah, I got an email from them the other day. I got another one today from them saying about it.
Yeah,
And that usually is a pretty nice show because they do you'll find the orchids throughout instead of just in the orchid room. So I was thinking maybe after they get through they had a release schedule of tickets and they're, of course there's time tickets and all that, but maybe after the first week or so of that show, maybe we can put together a outing to go down there and take a look at the
yeah.
bonsais. Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday, Ligoniers having their ice fest. The ice carving.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see, because I seen a bunch of pictures from Somerset, which was last weekend. Connie Wyatt, I think is her name, was posting a bunch of pictures from up there. She's a member of the Somerset Club. So the ice festival is this weekend. That wouldn't be bad to go see.
It's cold enough for once.
Yeah, I was up there one time when it was like you could go in shorts and a t-shirt, and the ice was melting faster than they could carve it. And I've also been up there when it was so cold you didn't want to be outside to take pictures.
Yeah.
So, I've seen it both ways. So we'll take a look at the weather and maybe take a ride up there this weekend.
I forget if it's Saturday morning or Sunday morning. It'll be 18, so that should be cold enough.
Yeah, it's getting down there.
There's probably another 2 degrees colder.
Well, I'm looking at the Ligonier weather right now. Saturday will be 13 overnight and 24 for a high, and Sunday's 32 for a high. So it'll be fairly cold up there. And they're not showing any precipitation. No.
If I go to that one, the only noise will be coming out of me. It won't be coming out of the camera.
Chattering noises.
It's too cold. My teeth.
I went last year and Sunday night, and was a guy up there that had one of them little cubes that would an LED cube, and it would change colors. Man, he was getting some awesome pictures putting that behind the ice.
Oh, okay.
It was like reflecting different shades of whatever color he would put it at.
Cool. I have a plain Lumecube, but it doesn't change color.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had gels that was putting on it or what.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get.
You can get gels for them. Beth, can you change the color temperature of yours? Can you make it warmer or colder?
There's a little like yellowish filter that you can stick on the front. That
That'd be a UV.
because this is just as is, and then if I can they have magnets. There's a slight amber tint to it, and then a diffuser. And you
I
can,
think the amber is to light adjust for fluorescent light, correct?
no, because that would be, the FLD is more of a pink. But the amber gives it it's a slight warming effect.
Like an old 812 filter.
Yeah, kind of. Visually, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it basically makes it more neutral instead of really blue.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll.
How do you like your Lumecube?
I haven't used it a lot. I got it for Christmas. Because but it's nice and bright,
Yeah.
and it's quite adjustable. That's actually at 10%.
Dennis, I know we talked about them before. You said, wasn't there somebody that was using them out in Death Valley when you was out there or something?
Those little cubes?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
you did. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about them before.
Yeah.
Let me, I don't know what that.
You were lighting like the inside of doorways or something. If
Yeah,
I
hold on. Give me a sec. I'll see if I can find them.
Okay.
Hey, while we're waiting, somebody gave me 4 lenses. And I have no idea what they fit. I think they're Canon. I'm gonna try to hold it up here and see if somebody can tell me the amount. I have no use for them. If somebody wants them, they can have them.
What's it say on them?
Well, they're,
On the front?
yeah, they have all kind of, like this one doesn't say anything. Auto zoom, made in Korea. 70 to 210 millimeter. And it has a serial number and a filter size.
There's no trade name anywhere on the barrel?
I don't see anything.
Is it a push pull 70 to 210 or a twist?
Push pull.
Are they manual or are they automatics?
I'm gonna say manual.
What does the camera mount end look like?
Well, I'm trying to show it here.
Yeah, it's not Pentex.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like an FD.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like it might be a Nikon.
I have an old film FG20 and it doesn't fit that.
Then it's not a Nikon.
I have a 750 and an 850 and it don't fit either one of them.
Then it's not a Nikon because they all fit the same.
Yeah.
Let me.
It could be a Canon. Canon made a couple different old mounts like that, but it could be other things as well. I would bring them to one of the outings. We can take a look at them.
Okay.
They could be. Could be
Can you
Minolta.
track, Brian, can you track a serial number?
I don't know if you can or not.
In Nikons, you can usually track a serial number. Can you?
Yeah.
But you need to know the brand to have some idea, right?
No, and that's what we're looking for anyway.
Is there any chance that it's at all like this? Keeping in mind that this is ripped off the back end of a lens.
It did kind of look like that, Beth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least kinda.
Yeah.
There's a piece that sticks out right here.
That runs your aperture.
what's the other slot for then?
That has a little metal piece sticking out of it too.
Yeah, there was more than one.
Doesn't,
There's no
this is
manufacturer.
Minolta.
So that could have a shutter built into the lens itself.
I have Minolta. Let me go see.
Well, this one's Minolta, because I had an ancient J.C. Penney brand,
Yeah.
really, really bad lens, and I don't have a Minolta anymore. And so I decided I was going to try to take it all apart and play with the lens elements. But I can't get a couple of key screws out, so only part of it is apart.
I'd say bring them sometime, Alan. We'll take a look at them and see what they fit. It's really hard to tell just on the camera there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no brand name on them?
I can't find anything.
Hmm.
It's almost like this is a AC Penny's type lens.
It could be.
It could go to like a Yashica or something like that.
Yeah.
It's here and gone from years ago and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Or Konica.
Konica, yeah, that's another one.
That's, let me see if
Olympus.
I've got mine around. Yeah, I don't know which box that one's in.
Here's a Minolta Maxim AF zoom, 100 to 300 millimeter, f4, f5.6. Gee, I wish I could still use it. And for the, oh gosh, what were they? The Minolta Maxim cameras. And there are no slots at all. It's all electronic except for, whoop.
Yeah, the Maxim was 100% electronic lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing was the
Because that was one of the early autofocus ones too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was those were a film camera.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
they,
it's
they used an electronic lens with
yeah, it
no
says AF right on the side, right
Yeah.
there.
That's when I started calling them black plastic blobs. I wasn't really impressed with that generation of 35 millimeter cameras.
yeah.
I was still shooting with my dad's completely manual Pentax at that point.
Oh. We have a Spotmatic. We have the Spotmatic, and then there was another name for one, the Asahi Pentax. I think.
Yeah, Pentax has been bought and sold by several other companies over the years.
I
Is it
did
now
find
or-
on a cap on the one, it says Tamron Adaptol 2 for Canon.
Ah.
It's a Tamron.
Oh.
Tamron.
Tamron lenses are sometimes pretty good.
Yeah.
The later ones. I think the earliest versions of them were suspect, but yeah, they got better later on.
This one says Toyo Optics.
That was I've heard of them before. They did lenses. They were a third party or fourth party lens company. But there's a good chance those all fit a Canon. If that's the case.
Yeah, you might need an adapter.
Yeah, I have 2 of those adapters.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different mounts
Yeah.
within Canon.
You get an
Yeah.
adapter with glass in it, don't get a cheap one. They suck.
Yeah, I've got some old Canon cameras. If we're meeting at some point and you're bringing those lenses, I'll bring a Canon camera with me. We'll see if they fit on that. I've got some of the old manual Canon cameras here somewhere in a box.
I know that feeling.
All right, Dennis, did you find a photo you?
Yeah, I did. Hold on a second. This is it's at the Inyo Mine in Death Valley National Park. And this is with Michael Gordon, who had a pickup truck, a 4-wheel drive, and knew where to go because you never find it. And it's an old mine, and we went twice. And the second time we went, as it got dark, he had 2 of these Lumecubes, and we set them up in this little shed and lit the front, lit inside, and 2 adults doing this. So we're looking for some ethereal effect here, and we have a hand coming out,
Yeah.
grabbing the door. It was late that day. Two hands and a stick. Then we lit a face. But you can do that with these cubes. I mean, that's one of the nice things about them, that you can put them wherever you want. And you can make them brighter or dimmer. So you can do some light things with them that you really can't do any other way easily. So that's what we
They're
did.
small.
In black and white.
I kind of like the black and white one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so overexposed. What do I have? So that's the mine. And they would transport water back to this mine in order to process the ore. And you're several miles, like you go back 100 years, you're quite a ways away from any source of water, but they would use mule teams to bring water in. That fuel, it's motor driven. And this is the first thing I tried. I put one of those lights in this, it was like a bunkhouse furnace, which didn't really work very well.
Was
But
you using that filter on top of that light to get it to be that orange color, or?
I think so.
Okay.
Although the inside of that barrel would be rust color.
Yeah.
So, but if you've not been to Death Valley, put it on your list.
Those bullet holes in there.
Yeah, probably.
Really?
Probably. Wasn't a particularly successful outing, but you never know until you try. Earlier in the day. A little bit bright. Nothing. So I will show Zabriskie Point. A point well marked, easy to get to, easy walk, and you with several hundred other photographers will be making the shot of your life. But it is stunning, absolutely stunning. There's another view.
It almost looks miniature in scale.
It does. It does, and there's certainly nothing that gives it scale.
Right. Yeah, you don't have a.
I don't have a little mini person here.
Right. Yeah.
We've been here twice. Once the first time we were guided here. The second time we were in transit coming from Las Vegas, and we just stopped. Barb and I stopped. And it's a tough photo to make and have it make any impact because you see it so many times that yours and the next guy's look the same.
Yeah.
So,
Neat. Thank you.
sure. And those little cubes are pretty cheap. No disrespect to your gift, Beth, but they're
Mhm.
not a lot of money, like $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in.
They're rechargeable.
Yep.
You could probably use some kind of a window tint and make a gel for them cubes.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you can still get away with doing this. It used to be that if you called, or in the really old days, wrote to Roscoe Lux, they would send you a sample book of filter material, which gets you little pieces. They're about 1.5 inches by 3 inches of every color of filter that they make. And we used to use these in Trace to make filters so that we could check the refractive index and actually have both sides have the same color filter, because we used a specific orange filter for it. And so I still have all of these, and I've used these to make filters for my Holga and for a fisheye lens that I've got that has a filter slot in the back of the lens, and it only needs about like, I don't know, barely even, and not even an inch big chunk of something to be a filter. So I did it with these.
Has anybody seen these DeWalt lights that a lot of contractors use?
Mm.
They're awfully powerful. They're really powerful.
Hmm.
And most of the time it winds up on my head while I'm looking in a toolbox in the back somewhere. And it's good for looking through your camera case when you're looking way down in the bowels of it. And it has 2 buttons on the top, 1 button, and it also has different powers, high, and then a really high, and then off. And then if you put it on, if you press this button over here, I think you can get it to, if I do it right, turn this on and then turn that, and then you can get it to turn on and turn off when you do it right. I'm not doing it right. But anyway, it's very powerful. It looked like it's, yeah, there it goes. There it goes. See, and
Yeah.
turns it off, turns it on, off,
Cool.
on. And I don't know how much it cost. I can't remember, but it was probably in the $15 or $20 category. Whoa. And it uses 3 AAA batteries.
Hmm.
And I don't know about its, let me turn this thing off. Good. I don't know what its lifetime is if you just turned it on and left it on while you tried to work on a project, but it seems to be fairly long lasting. So if you can't get a hold of one of those, get one of these. Well, what do you think? Does the same thing?
It similar, certainly, because it's an LED light.
Yeah. I don't know about the color balance, but it looks like a bright white light. I don't know. I do this. Let's see. That's it. That's this side of my face, right? So that's there. Yeah, it's cold light. It's not a warm light. Doesn't look warm, right? Anyway, it's I've got the numbers on it if anybody's interested in it. DeWalt is the company, and it comes with a band that you can put on. I'm sure that some of you have seen this before, this kind of
Yeah.
device. Yeah. So it's no revelation, but it's what I use.
So nobody has any outing photos?
I have to.
Not that are ready for view.
I posted a few on Reddit the other day.
Dennis, I took a pano sequence while I was out there. It might take me a few minutes to get it in for folks to look at. It was a 4-shot sequence. I wish I had shot one more to the right,
Yeah.
but I didn't. And what I'll do is I'll attempt to put it in the system here while things go on. But it was the one that I felt, I'm glad I went out. It was the one okay, what I felt was an okay picture that I
Yeah.
took out there. So I'll see what I can do about getting it over. I'll have to do.
While Rex is doing that, I went to Lumecube website, and you can buy a single Lumecube with the warming filter and a diffuser at $89.95. And so I threw one in a shopping cart and told, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Honey or not. Honey's a addition you can add to Safari, and it looks for coupons for you. So I had it look for a coupon, and it found me one for $8.99 off. So you can buy it for $80.96
Yeah.
for a single. But they have a pretty cool kit. It has 2 in it that also has light modifiers, including barn doors, a snoot, and some other stuff, along with a bunch of filters for them. And that kit was $300. Let's see if Honey can find a coupon for that one. just for fun. Oh, I see a dog.
Nobody's getting kisses.
Well-behaved dog.
So if you buy the $300 one, Honey has a coupon there for $29.90.
It's 10%.
Yeah. Not bad.
If you sign up for their emails, I think you get a 10% too,
Yeah.
or at least occasionally something along those lines.
Yeah, I see them. They offer it a lot on Facebook too. They pop up on my Facebook feed all the time.
Mhm. And Lens Baby finally has the videos up on their site all of the individual talks that people did during their conference back at the beginning of December. So if you go to lensbaby.com and go to photography conference and scroll down, you can see the replays of all of the talks on there. There were some really good ones.
They're looking for Lens Baby ambassadors.
Mhm.
Beth?
I don't post that much on social media. I'd have to up that a little bit, I think, to get accepted. Which I probably could.
Okay.
Brian, do you ever use your 850, that, what do they call that, photo shift? For the macros where it takes like however many pictures?
Oh, the photo stacking, focus stacking. Yeah.
How do you like
tell
that?
you, it works really, really well. I honestly, I couldn't tell you how to do it right now because I don't remember. It's been so long since I used it. But I did use it in several photos. And I used it in just some straight landscape photography too, you know, just not macro, but landscape, and let it do a focus stacking, and it done a really good job. Beth, I think you was with me whenever I was messing around with that up at Lynn Run. I don't hear
Sorry,
Beth.
I was muted.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now I hear. I think you was with me when we were up at Lynn
Yeah.
Run that time, and I was fooling around with that, just kind of playing with it to see how it worked. It done a really good job.
Yeah. I remember you used it at Cucumber on something, but that was one where I wasn't there. but I think it was right around the same time that you were, I never saw what you got from Lynn Run, but you were trying it.
I'll look and see if I can find any of the pictures, if I posted them anywhere of that while we're talking here this evening.
I tried to use it one time up at that Porcupine Ridge, but it's probably a half a mile to the other side, and it just didn't work too well.
Yeah, I was just looking through something the other day and I came across a picture that I did with that focus stacking, but I don't remember where I was at looking. So you have to give me a few minutes to see if I can find it. I don't remember where I was posting stuff at that point in time.
Okay, well, I think I made a transfer here. If you want to, we can take
Sure.
a look. All right, share screen. You want me to say share, or do I say the share?
Yeah, you're going to share. Yep.
Okay. Okay, with that, we're working backwards from the last picture. Let me turn this down. Then it was this, and this is what I got. So this is the image that I made in Lightroom that day. And you can go in on it. Now remember, this is from 4 different exposures, and you can see the snow in there. And let's see, when we get to, I don't know, when we say 50% of using the Windows 10 system, but there's what we're looking at as far as, let me see, we're for noise, good place to look at noise in here. Let's see.
Didn't you shoot raw, Rex?
Oh yeah, it was raw. We're looking at the JPEGs. That was the quickest way to ship these over. That was the quickest way to ship this over.
And why is the green so saturated?
Wow. It was just part of, that's something that's easy to change, but it isn't.
No, I'm just curious why. Did you do
I
that? Or
would, if I can, the best I can remember is when I was using the clarity slider, that the clarity slider tended to push up that green.
Yeah.
So that's my best memory on that. What I'll show you now, the individual shots these were the unadjusted. These are totally unadjusted. So even without adjustment, you see that the level of green is fairly high.
Yeah, but it looks normal.
Okay. And then that was the next frame, and it was rather dark. But then when you put it in the Lightroom system for creating the pano, it makes all those adjustments. The only adjustment I made is when we go back to the, when we go back here, I had used the, where the heck is it? I used the graduated filter that I pulled down over the sky, and then I made adjustments to the sky.
Yeah.
And then I used just a little bit of the vignette around the edge, just a tiny bit. I try to make it so that it's not obvious, but it is there.
Is that the whole frame?
Well, it's 4 frames. We're looking at 4 frames.
So the right side is the actual right side.
Right. This what we're looking at here is frame 1, and over here is frame 1 on the
Yeah,
left.
okay, okay.
Then the second, the third, and the fourth. And like
Yeah.
I said, I wish I had taken one more, but I didn't. So what would happen if we even take a look at the unadjusted exposure? It's soft. See, really so soft. Even if, well, I don't know what happens if we went into, this is simply the Windows edit function. If we went in there and, you know, tried to lighten it, clarity. Let's see. Shadows. This is not a very good software for editing images, but that would give some relief to what it was supposed to look like. And that's it. So on our outing, that was the one that I got that I thought was worth the trip.
Yeah.
I really would have liked to have had that one frame. So the next time around, if I want it that badly, that's what I'm going to be doing. But I think looking at it on the monitor really large, it's pretty nice. We really only see the grain that I'm talking about when you get into over 2x, like you get, or what would be called 200 to 300 on the Lightroom magnification system. It's full frame, fit 100 or 200, or then anything you want in between or over. One of the things I did when I was first putting it together, I was looking at this, there's something going on there that's not supposed to. These are actually the reverse. They're not white, they're dark, but those are snow. That's snow. But if you can just see it right over the edge here, is just a little bit of extra light starting to show there from either sharpening or
Looks like a JPEG artifact.
well, it's a JPEG.
Well, but it looks like you made the quality like 50%. When you stored it as a JPEG.
I'm not sure where to go with that.
Well, I just think if you went back to your RAWs,
Yeah.
major pano as a RAW, using raw images, would you still have these artifacts?
Well, once the pano was created, that's when I began doing the work on it. Otherwise, I would have been making adjustments to 4 different frames.
Yeah, okay.
Although it's still not a bad idea, because if it could take those 4 wildly different frames and turn it into this, or essentially this, then trying to help it along might not have been a bad deal. But then I would never be able to answer the question about artifacts along. It's I think in the detail. It's in the detail sliders that this happens. And it's minimal, but you know, you point it out and then you go, oh yeah, I see it. And it's there. It's definitely there. And this is closer you get to it, I think the more of it you can see. It's basically a halo. And if you don't know that that's snow, it can be very disturbing.
Yeah.
All right.
In the big version, they just look like birds.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I was fascinated with was the the difference in the tones of the ice and the water. And I thought that's something I wanted to work with. And I don't know if we were to take that, and I don't know where you would go. Let's see, light and clarity. Yeah. Where the hell's color? Oh, I know. I know where it is. It's right there where I. All right. So if we were to take what? Take that out. Whoa, take that out. No, that doesn't do it, does it? See, what would this do it? Yeah, that turns it into a black and white.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, and then you get a little, you still get a little bit of effect. That's only the Windows 10.
I like it as a black and white.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind
Surprise,
of where
surprise.
that's kind of where my eyesight was when I looked at it. I thought, whoa, I'd like to see the differences. Here, save a copy. And okay. Oh boy. It's with other things. All right, so there's the copy.
But we'll have to go back.
Yeah.
Bring a tripod.
Oh, that would be much better too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't hurt for sure.
Yeah. Let's see, where is it? Now we should have a where? Okay, it put it in a different folder is what it did. So no need to go searching for that now. Anyway, that's it.
Oh, Luke.
Coming up. No. Okay, folks. I'm going to unshare. Am I unshared here yet?
Nope.
Usually up at the top of your screen. There you
Okay.
I'll shut you off.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. That needs to be done frequently. Okay. All right. Well, that was my part of our adventure out there.
Alan, I found the picture, but I can't get to it on my computer. I only found it on my phone. I posted it on one of my Instagram pages.
Yeah. Your phone and your Mac are not synchronized?
Well, they are and they're not. Only one of my accounts are. The other accounts I get to from inside the account, but it won't let you do that on the Safari or the internet. It only lets you do that through their app because Instagram is.
Oh, I see.
On Safari, there's a way you can turn it into developer mode. And I don't remember how to engage that, but once it's in develop mode, you get an extra little thing across the top. And if you click develop, you can open the page with something else,
Yeah,
including iOS. Usually.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see.
Depending on, at least with some.
I'll figure it out. I just and Instagram don't let you save photos off of. I was just going to save the photo to photos and then I could pull it up and look at it. But Instagram don't let you do that either.
And actually now on Instagram, I can't pull it up. I can't open the page with anything other than Firefox, which is weird. Oh, okay, user agent. Then you can.
Yeah. Turn your Mac into an iPhone.
Yeah,
At
a
least they-
27-inch iPhone.
But you can store on Instagram. You can upload to Instagram that way.
Yeah. But it's also easy just to slide it over into, to import it into Photos and then do it from my phone anyway.
Can you see the photo?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Maximize it.
Well, that's going to be as big as it's going to get. It's a screenshot off my iPhone that I put in Photos so that I could get it here so you can at least see it. But Alan, this is, to answer your question, this is one that was done using the focus stacking that I started it out here
Mm.
and went all the way back through there to get that everything in focus that way.
Is that an automatic feature or do you do that manually?
That's an automatic feature in the D850.
Hmm.
How many shots was that?
Well, I don't know offhand, probably a dozen or more. Said it's been that's been, well, May 14th of 2019 is when I posted it. So it's
It
been a
was-
little while since I did that.
It was 2 years ago that we did that shoot though.
Yeah. I know this was taken at Lynn Run,
Yep.
and that was,
Yeah, I
that was-
remember where.
that may have been like the first or second time I had that camera out. That was right after I bought that camera.
Hmm.
So
Did you construct that or did you find that?
it was laying, that was there. I found that.
Wow.
There were a couple others, I think, too.
Yeah, there was.
Little, like smaller than that, but
Yep. But anyhow, that was one that I chose to use that focus stacking on to see how it worked, and it worked well.
Was that with a macro lens or just a regular lens?
I do believe that was with a macro lens. He said I'm going way back, but I do believe I did that with a macro lens. And it's of course not the best image to look at right now because it's a screenshot from an iPhone, for, you know what I mean, to get it there. But it definitely done a nice job of putting stuff in focus. And I
Yeah.
also used it on some shots of just the stream and stuff like that, just big shots of the stream, and was able to get a really nice depth of field the whole way back through from close up. So it done a nice job. So it's a feature worth using. I don't know why I don't use it more. Anyhow,
I get on a site called Backcountry Galleries, and most of it is Nikon shooters. And they were talking about that, and I just kind of thought the same thing. It'd be worth using.
it is, and like I said, it does a nice job. Just one of the things I don't think I think about it enough to do it as often as I should. But it should be something I'm considering and thinking about quite often.
When you do that, do you have to put your focus point at the bottom and then let it go all the way up on its own? Is he with each shot?
I do believe, if I remember correctly, you set and it's like you said, it's been a long time. I think you set a beginning focus point and an end focus point, and then it does the rest. So you tell it, like, I want you to start here and finish here. and by however many photos it takes, or you tell it how many photos to take, and then it makes the necessary adjustments with the lens to make that happen.
They were talking about a video that that Steve Perry did on that focus stacking, and I'm thinking about getting that just so I can learn more about it. I mean, it'd be a worthwhile $20 investment.
There's several videos on YouTube about it. I just
No,
did
I
a quick
figured
search about using it. So I'd probably just take a couple looks at that before you spend any money, but it does it. No. Anyhow. Everyone's quiet tonight.
Yep. I was going to say, I got more out of this evening's meeting than I thought I was going to get, because I thought when I looked at the metadata that was all you get. Apparently, there's a whole lot more that you can get.
There
now
is.
Now I know where to go to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of those settings that you get that it'll give you, like, if you have GPS coordinates and all that, it'll show you all that, as well as you have a place to put in your name and address and copyright information, and all that can be added in there. And if you're submitting your pictures to a news service, there's certain tags and stuff to have to be added to each picture. You can do all that through one of those drop down menus in the metadata.
Yeah, that was very helpful. That sometimes you get into a pattern of doing things, and it just becomes the way you do things, and you get what you want. It works, but what you might forget is that there are also some alternatives, and that was a big one. There's a lot more that you can see there to help you make decisions that I thought was there.
Yeah.
Now, I knew that I could get to more metadata by doing, say, for example, just going into the Windows system and looking in preferences. You sometimes can see a lot more too. But that makes it so easy because it's always right there.
Mm-hmm. And that shows every bit of metadata that your camera collected.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of when you open Lightroom up originally, it doesn't show you that. It shows you the basics of that. You have to tell it that you want to see that rest of that stuff.
Well, I don't need to know that X is a yes, and then Y is a no, and then color Y is a yes, and then color X is a no. You know, all of that stuff that you see coming down the line. I don't need that much. What I need is what I would expect to know about the camera's exposure behavior in order to make the changes I need to make.
Right. And if you look at that drop down menu that we pointed to you,
yeah,
there's a couple of different ones in there, and there is one that'll show you everything that you need and not all the other crap. So just try those out until you find the one you like.
That's kind of where I was. It just wasn't giving me the plus minus exposure data.
Yeah. Whoever that was, bless you.
Bless you, and bless you from Brian and Photo Club.
Yeah, I have to clean my lens off.
What upload?
You need tissues.
What? Well, I can't think of anything else. You know, let's try something like, hey, we have a new president.
Yeah.
Well, that really turned everybody off. Look at that.
No, the woman who gave the poem, Amanda Gorman? Was it Gorman?
What?
The woman who recited the poem.
Oh, Amanda Gordon. Amanda Gordon. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was
Wow.
outstanding.
She has a future. Yeah. Amanda Gordon. Poet laureate. Poet laureate.
Gorman.
Winner poet laureate and her own poetry.
She's
very good.
phenomenal.
Well, I didn't watch any of that stuff or see any of that stuff, mainly because I
Some of you
don't
guys have to work.
mainly I don't have television. I was off today, but I didn't watch any of it, but mainly because I don't have television. And secondly, you know, he was elected president. Let's get it over with. I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. 100%. That is all I've heard about for 4 years now. I'm done. Let's move on at this point.
Yeah.
Is how I look at it.
Yeah, let's have an outing.
Yeah.
Do we ever have outings to Seton Hill College?
No,
Is there a reason?
I don't know. It's never been brought up, never been mentioned that I know of or that I can remember of as being a destination. It might have
Yeah,
been
what-
at one point. I don't know. I don't think it was.
What are the salient features over there? Architecture?
Couldn't tell you, never been there.
Oh, okay. I thought you-
Isn't,
Master-
is the railroad station kind of near the
No,
campus?
it's on 130 down from the railroad station.
Okay.
So
I don't
it's
think
back-
I've
it
even
sits
been
up
up
the
in that
hill.
whole area.
There are buildings there with some unique architecture. I went up there, I don't know, a few years ago and just took some shots, different locations. So yeah, there's some nice architecture. And then I don't know if it's permissible to take photos of the co-eds or not.
Yeah. Street photography, right? People
Yeah.
photography.
Well,
Well, I'll try a different approach to that pano that I did. What I did is I told Lightroom, take these 4 images and turn them into a pano for me. And then I made the adjustments. I made a few adjustments to the finished pano, like the sky and all. I'll run it again. And this time what I'll do is I'll take those 4 images and I'll create what I think is the very best that I can create from each one,
Mm.
and then turn Lightroom loose on creating a pano from it. And Dennis, did you say that there is an option when it creates the pano to create it as something else? If you take it into Photoshop, you can turn it into a DNG or
do
a PSD.
yes.
PSD.
PNG, but
What?
I would see no reason to do that.
Well, okay, but
It shouldn't matter.
well, the idea of preserving all the data, hard, or TIFF, or TIFF.
Well, I just think doing it in Lightroom or Photoshop on the raw files is the place to start.
Oh,
And look and see what you got. And if it doesn't matter, then the source, either the resolution you want isn't there from the camera,
yeah.
or there's something else going on.
If it's not there, you're not going to get it, right?
Yeah.
Softness, sharpness.
It's your 5D Mark II, right?
What's that?
Your 5D Mark II was the camera.
Yes, and the lens is the 24-105. I don't have my beautiful 24-70 anymore, f2.8L. But the 24-105 is a pretty good lens, but
Oh, nice.
CA shows up in it early. If you're using a wider f-stop and you look at the edge, you can see the chromaticity showing up.
Do you go into, when you do Lightroom, do you go into the camera lens panel and turn on the profiling and chromatic aberration reduction?
I do it manually. I do each one manually, or I have set it so that I do one and then I copy that to everything across, so
Yeah.
that at least the CA is taken care of. But there is a difference between those two lenses. That it's the reason that the 24-70 in 2005 was still a $1,200 lens in 2005.
Yeah.
And this 24-105, it's only maybe a year old, not even a year old yet, was 800, something like that. 800, 700, 800. But I like the lens. It works really good. It's just that you have to be careful if you want the maximum amount of sharpness from the camera, you're going to have to know that at certain f-stops, you are going to be the one that has to take that chroma CA, lateral, not collateral, lateral color out, color aberrations out.
Chromatic aberration.
Chromatic aberrations out. But I don't mind. I don't mind for the saved $400 on it. You got to be careful with it though when you're using lenses that, I mean, unless that's what you want, unless you want something to look a certain way and you need that in order to get it to look that way. That's what you use. It's a tool. It's like any other tool. It's like the cell phone. There's some things that you may want to photograph. The only thing that'll work is the camera in your cell phone. You know, why do you want to get under something? You want to get in something. The only way you're going to get in there is with that size device, image recording device. So tools are tools. One of the things that occurred to me just now was that I could also use the Canon 2X teleextender on the 24-105 and actually get a little more distance out of the 2X factor, but goodness knows what it looks like, you know, as far as comparing the image quality between, say, the 70-200 and the 24-105 that has the 2X teleextender on it. It's a good test to try sometime if yeah, it's a good test to try. I have those lenses. I can do that.
Are we done?
I believe we are. About 10 till, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Unless anyone has any other last minute questions or anything. Nope.
What's next?
Hi,
How about
Daniel.
future? What's in our future?
I see Daniel's here tonight.
Hey, Daniel,
Hey, Danny.
where's his keyboard?
What do we have next?
We need to
Yeah,
set a date for the Carnegie Library or Carnegie Art Museum for next month.
Yes, we do. We need a date for that, and
SWG meetings next week.
SWG
is next
meeting
week.
is next week. Yeah. Do you guys want to meet both Wednesday and Thursday night, or we want to skip Wednesday night next week?
Skip Wednesday.
We can skip Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursday would be fine.
All right. So we'll be having our next meeting. Then will be our SWG meeting on the 28th. And Jim, I think on that meeting night, we'll decide when we want to go to the Carnegie Museum.
Okay.
That sound good? Just don't let us forget.
Yeah, we should
Oh,
talk about going to Phipps.
I
agree.
I do have some information today on the virus, the vaccine. Carol and I are both signed up for both the first and the second dose at Forbes Hospital later on in the month. I'd have to look at my calendar, but I think I'm not sure where she went to check online to find out about it. But well, first of all, there's the categories of people, and they're taking us old folks first. Okay,
You'll be
so
65.
so that the fact is that Forbes Hospital has the one of the vaccines. I don't know which one it is, but I can probably have more information for you
Doesn't matter.
later.
Well, it's
Gonna be 65.
yeah, you got to be 65 or older, or older
Yeah.
than 16 with a serious health issues.
I don't know if that category is even yet.
Yeah,
actually.
they opened it up today or yesterday
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
for that.
All right. I
They
didn't
added
know.
them. They added them to 1A, I think it is, or whatever it is now, whatever
okay.
step they're on.
Dennis, did Carol talk to Barbara or you,
No.
or didn't mention it? Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. It just occurred to me, and I don't know what your qualifications are and how many are online.
Well, I'm over 65.
How about yeah? And Gaylor, how about Gaylor there? You on, Gaylor? Unmute. There he goes.
I'm 65, and I'm happy to hear that at least someplace around here is doing vaccinations.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, the good side of this, I think, is that it's getting closer and closer to us, and the faster us old folks get out of the way, the more room there'll be for vaccines to come to you younger folks.
I guess I do have one question for Brian. Are all of the meetings virtual in the near future?
Yes, we're going to say yes for right now. We've planned for basically the first part of this year, the first few months, what was it, Jim? The first half of the year or first few months? I forget.
Well-
But we have planned for that as being virtual right now until things start to open up a little bit more and things start to stabilize.
I guess the question came in my mind when I read an email about a meeting at St. Vincent and having to change the day to the third Monday or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never sent that email out.
Okay, I'll check and see if I can reread it.
Yeah, I don't know of anything being changed because right now we have no meeting place at St. Vincent's. They're not allowing us there.
That's what I
So
remember.
Gaylor, I'm wondering if, I think it's been a while, but back late last year, there's some confusion on what the theoretical date is of the SWG meetings. And in some places, the club is referred to it as the last Thursday of the month. And in other situations, I think it's listed as the fourth Thursday. And there's a couple of months a year where that's not, they're not the same date, if you will. That sounds like what you're referring to, but
It
that
may
had
be,
nothing
yeah.
to do with actually resuming the meetings themselves.
Yeah, that sounds right, Jim. I know there was some confusion over that. But yeah, as of right now, we're staying virtual until some things adjust and equalize.
And April has to be virtual anyway, so.
Yes, as well as whatever other month we decide for the other speaker there, Dennis.
And Michael Gordon.
Yeah, you said he would be better in the warmer months, right?
Well, they don't do workshops when it's hot in Death Valley.
And that would make sense because they don't want to kill people.
You know, the other one, I don't know, do
Or
you know
melt the camera.
Hazel, Beth, do you know Hazel Meredith?
I've seen her speak, yeah, because
She might be somebody, it's a different vernacular she would talk about, but she might be somebody we would ask and I think would be reasonably accommodating.
yeah,
He does the textures and patterns and if we want to do another one.
Okay. All right. Well, if nothing else, I guess that will conclude our evening and we'll meet next week on Thursday night for the SWG meeting.
All righty. Good talking to you.
Nice seeing y'all.
Bye-bye. Say bye.
Stay safe. Bye, Daniel.
Bye, everybody.
hi Daniel,
Good
See
night.
you guys later.
see y'all.
Hi, everybody.
Don't forget to post for Photographer's Choice.
Yeah, we only got a few more days of that.
Photographer's choice. Okay.
Fast approaching the end of the month.